Okay, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yesterday class. So good evening, everybody. So in the yesterday class, we have seen about how the real-time programming of 8051 microcontroller. So it will extend to that, and we will try to look into some more programs. So how we can able to interface with some more devices which are in 8051 development board. Give me a second. Yes. So something like I say, seen in the yesterday class. So we have seen the different modules are going to be presenting in the board. So that modules we will try to discuss about the remaining modules today. So first thing, what we will try to do is in the yesterday class we have seen how to connect. Uh, how to interface LED with a switch. Okay, so now today what we will see is, so we will see in the yesterday class itself we have seen about how to connect 4 LEDs with the 4 switches. How to control a 4 LEDs with the 4 switches. Okay, so we will see that one today. Okay, so we will see some more extension of that one. So we will try to see that one. Okay, so give me time. So I will try to share my yes, I will try to share my screen. So what I will do is 1 second. So I will directly open Keel. So there I will try to open. Yes, yes. So here, so today what we will see is, we will see how we can able to control 4 switches with the four LEDs. So for that one, go to the program, open 4 switches. So you can able to see here. So this is the program for controlling 4 LEDs with the 4 switches. Okay, so you can able to see this is a very simple program. So in our microcontroller board, so I will show you in our microcontroller board. So if you see the microcontroller board, so there, yes, there, the yellow one, these things are called as the switches. So these switches are connected to the port 2.0 of the 8051 microcontroller. This is the 8051 microcontroller. These are the switches. These switches, so here we are having a 8 switches. So 8 switches are connected to the port P2. Okay, next, if you see this one, these are the LEDs. So these are the 8 LEDs which are connected to the port 0. These are the 8 LEDs which are connected to the port 0. So the main aim of the program is, what the main aim of the program is, so we need to control 4 LEDs which are connected to the port 0 with the switches which are connected to the port 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. That's why first if you see this one, hash include REG 52, 51, both are same thing. So this is the special function. So these are the header file. Next, S bit you can able to say. So we are defining the LEDs which are connected to the port P0, P1, P2, P3. So those are the 4 LEDs. Okay. So I will write down as the LED. Okay. These are the switch. Next, the switches are connected to the, so that's why I have taken as the S bit. The switches are connected to the port 2.0 to 2.3. 4. Okay, 4 switches. So if I press the switch, then it need to glow the 0.0. If I press the switch 2.1, then it need to glow the port 0.1. Right? So we are trying to control the LEDs with the switches. Okay, so you can able to see here now. So switches are the input devices. So that's why we are making as a 1. Directly, if you give the 1, yes, the switch pin. So the meaning of that one is, so I am making the switches as the input devices, where the LEDs are going to be having a output devices. So that's why initially I am switch offing. That's why I am making as a 1. Okay, next we can able to see here. So while 1. So here, see, this is the LED. These LEDs are going to be having a 2 different types, common anode and common cathode. If it is going to be having a common anode, so then we need to give a 1. If it is a common cathode, we need to switch on the LED. If it is a common anode, we need to give 1. If it is a common cathode, to switch on the LED, we need to give as a 0. So here we are giving as a 1. So the LED will initially off. To make the LED initially off, the meaning of that one is, so these LEDs which are connected in the 8051 microcontroller board are common cathode. It's a common anode. Okay, so that's how we can able to have. Okay, next you can able to see next one. So while 1, so this will make the infinity loop. Next, if switch pin 0 is pressed, is equal to 0. So whenever the switch is pressed, the value became as a 0. Whenever the switch is open, the value is the 1. That's why, so if switch 1 is equal to 0, switch is pressed, a switch on the LED. LED will be on. So for some delay. Next, it's going to be off. Okay. So now, so one more time, I am specifying you. So the LEDs are going to be having a common anode and common cathode. So they will arrange like that. So if it is a common anode, we need to give 1 to switch on the LED. If it is a common cathode, we need to give the 0 to switch on the LED. So that's why. So here we are having it like that. So that's why we are giving this. So these are the different LEDs. So how we can able to. So this will give the delay. This will give the delay. So try to look at the program carefully so you can able to understand. So I will give a 1 or 2 minutes here to check you. Okay, so I will scroll this one. So these are the bits. So these are the switches. So we are making I have given the comments for every statement. So try to look at the program. One second, please. Whiteboard. I will try to show you in the whiteboard also. Yes. So after looking into the program, so I think you may know the how the program is working. So I will show you next. So now connect your microcontroller to the USB port. Next, after connecting, So go for the rebuild target. So then you can able to see creating hex file from 4 switches. Okay. So then so we need to load the program. So by using the ISP Newton utility. Okay. Okay. So there you need to check to which port we have connected the our board. So this is the COM7 load file. So in the load file, we are having a program which is called as a force switch. Update the chip. So after passing that one, you can able to check here. You can able to check here. See, I'm pressing the switch. One LED will switch off and again it will switch on. Like that, we can able to control the switches with the LED. Okay, next. So I will go for one more program which is called as the counter. So we know that counter is nothing but which count continuously. Okay, so by the simple for loops, we can able to count the numbers. So the counted numbers, so how I can able to do is, so I will set that into LED such that the LED will start growing. So if I send the 0, then 0 LED will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that. Okay. So for that program, so open. So we are having a program as a ring counter. So ring counter will continuously count. Okay. So that's why. So here you can able to see. I am using the two void main. So here I am using the two variables I and j. So I am outputting the into the P naught. I am using the port P naught while one. So I am using the whatever the values. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 28 values like 1. So next like that. Next it will go for the 2. Next it will go for the 4. Next it will go for the 8. Next it will go for the 16. Next it will go for the 32, 64, 128. So like that it will continuously go. Okay. So we will see how the program is going to be having. Okay. So for that one, is load file. The file is ring counter. Open. Update chip. Like this. I will show you. So it will go, it will acting as a ring counter. It will acting as a ring counter. Okay. So that's how we can able to we can able to have the ring counter. Next. So what we will go is, So we will go one more program, so which is called as a 7-segment display. Open project. So I will go with the 7-segment display here. So this is the 7-segment display. So in order to understand this 7-segment display, we need to know something about the 7-segment display. So if my whiteboard works, it's a better thing, but it's not working properly. So that's why I will show you. I will show you this one. So 7-segment display interfacing with the 8051. How it is going to be having. So they are going to be having this is the 7-segment display is a output device. So here we are using the common cathode 7-segment display. So we can able to have the common anode 7-segment display also having. So in the 7-segment display, we are using 7 LEDs. Okay, so 7 LEDs. So in that 7 LEDs, I will show you something like this. Okay, so in that 7 LEDs, we are having a LEDs anode and cathode. So we will make common to a point. So that is going to be called as a whatever the point we are making as a common, that's going to be called as a common anode or common cathode. So like that. So LED displays are using the more current 10 milliamperes per LED. So that's why it's going to be utilizing the more current or more power, you can able to say in terms of the power. Next, they are using the 8 pins. So each and every LED 7-segment display using the 8 pins. So we can able to, what is the limitation of this one is, so we can able to show only a few characters. We cannot able to display the all characters. Something like as a Z, we cannot able to display the Z exactly. So we cannot able to display the 2 exactly. So whatever the written one, something like that. So we cannot able to display the some characters. So exactly. So but we can able to display them. And the important thing is we can able to display, so we can able to see from the larger distance also. So this is the diode placements we are going to be having. So commonly what in academic time what we can able to start is we can call it as a starting with this A, B, C, D, E, F and G. Okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. The H is going to be called as a decimal point. So like that. So we will write down that one. So for each and every value, so if I need to make as a 1, so then we need to blink these 2. So we need to give the ones there, and remaining we need to give the 0, and we need to convert that value into the hexadecimal. Okay, so this is how common anode internal wiring is going to be having. So they will take the anodes commonly and they are going to be placing like this. So you can able to see here A, B, C, D, E, F, G like that. Okay, next. So common cathode internal wiring. So cathode is nothing but we are having like this. So this cathode is going to be given like this. So that's the difference we are having. So this is the important thing. You try to understand this one carefully. So I think you may know this one clearly. So but try to understand this one. So this point is called as the A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. So H is a decimal point. Okay. So for digit 0, all LEDs must be glow except G. So that's why we will write like this. If you convert this one into the hexadecimal, so we need to take the 4 bits. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, this one and this one. So all ones is nothing but F and this value is the 3f. Okay, like that we are having a different values 3f 06 like that. So for each and every value, for each and every digit, we are having a different values. So I will explain one more thing. So if I need to go with the 1, then so you can able to see this. So 1 is nothing but we are having a 06. So because 4 2 which became as a 06 like that 0 1 2 is nothing but 5b, 3 is nothing but 4f, 4 is nothing but 6 6, 5 is nothing but 6d, 7 is nothing but 07, 8 is nothing but 7f, 9 is nothing but 6f. So please try to, so I've given enough time to note down all these things. So that's why please note this. So if you are able to understand this one, so writing the program is very simple. So what data we need to give is a very important one. Okay, next we can able to see. We can able to interface directly. So one of the port. So here the 7 segment LED is interfaced with the port 2.0 to 2.7. So here we are having a 7 segment displays. That's why. So we are interfacing with the port 2.3, 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. So those are the 4. So in our board. So we can able to interface any port. So for each and every 7 segment LED, we require the 8 bits actually. So but what we are doing is we are using the multiplexer. So by using the multiplexer, so we are taking only one port. By taking only one port, so we can able to interface directly with the 7 segment display. So we will see that one. So not feasible because only 4 ports in the 8051. So if I am having a 4 ports, I can able to 4. If I use the every port, then I can able to interface only 4 7 segment displays. Okay. So but if I do like that, all ports are engaged. So if I require more, we cannot able to interface more number of LEDs directly. So that's why. So what we are going to be using is, so here we are using the some more things. So these are the things. So using a latch with the each LED, which each LED. So we are going to be increasing the number of latches. So if you increase the number of latches, then the cost will be increases. So this is the one method. So how we can able to do this one. So the another method is, so here we are going to scan display, only 7 segment display is enabled at a given time. So what we are having is, if I am having a n number of 7 segment displays like this, so I will go for the scanning of that one. So which display I need to activate. So from 4 I can able to activate only 1 like that. So then I am using the less number of pins. Okay, so that's how we can able to do another one. So the next one is, so we are using the 74LS138 decoder. So by using the 74LS138 decoder, so we can able to decrease the cost, as well as we can able to decrease the refreshing burdens, and we can able to decrease the hardware. We can able to whatever the hardware requirements we can able to decrease. So that's why we are using the 74LS318 decoder to select any one of the segments display. Internally, we are going to be using this one, and we are going to be interfacing that one. Okay. So we will see the program, how it is going to be work now. Okay. So if you see the program, yes, if you see the program is going to be something like this. So first what we are going to be having is, so we are using the segment. Which segment we are going to be utilizing? So we are using the port P1. So port P1 is going to be utilized. So that is going to be connected. Okay. So for port P1, we are going to be giving the data. First we are making as a 00. That is nothing but it is going to be output. So first we will give the 3F. 3F is nothing but 0, 0, 6, nothing but 2, 1 and 2, like that. So we will give the continuously data and we will go for the delay like that. So up to what? Up to we will go for the zeros 67. So 67 like that we can able to give 67 like that. So this is the delay program. So what I will do is I will compile this one. So then the hex file is created and I will try to dump that program into my 8051 microcontroller by using a new one ISP load file. So here we are using the 7-segment display. So in the 7-segment display, this one open, update the chip. So the program, so what the use of the program is, it continuously gives the numbers. Okay, so it need to give the continuous numbers. So that's how we have given the data here. Okay, so I will show how it is how it is used, how it is showing the numbers. See here. See, below we are having a jumpers. So if you remove the jumper, so particular 7-segment display will not work. So remaining things work. So this jumper will give the connection to the port P1 to the this 7-segment display. You can check one more time. This is how the 7-segment display is going to be work. Okay, so next, so we will try to go for one more program, so to interface the different things. So something like as here I will go with the buzzer. I think we have already seen the buzzer. Yes, we have seen. So we will go with the relay. Yes. Yes. So next thing, so we try to, I will try to show you how a relay can be interfaced. How a relay can be interfaced. Okay. So the relay is nothing but blue one, this one. First, so what is the purpose of the relay? So let us take, I need to create a 8051 based embedded system to control the overhead tank leakage, overflow. overhead tank overflow. Okay, so then what I will do is, I will place a sensor at a threshold level in a tank. So from the sump, the motor will pump the water into the overhead tank. Whenever it reaches to a particular level, there I have placed the sensor. So whenever the water touches to this sensor, then the microcontroller need to switch off the motor automatically. So this is going to be called as a automatic overhead controller, overhead overflow controller, overhead tank overflow controller. So this is the purpose. So there the microcontroller will work with the DC voltage, so 12 volts DC, but the motor will work with the AC, alternate current, with the 230 volts. So how a DC operated microcontroller will control the AC operated motor? So in those cases, so we will use a relay. Okay, so the relay will do the things for us. So this relay will control. So from it will take the command from microcontroller, and depending upon the command, it will switch off or switch on the motor automatically. Okay, so here in our example, so what we will do is, so we will try to interface a relay with a switch. Okay, with a switch. So we don't have any output device here to show you to switch on and switch off. We may have a incandescent light, so which will work with the AC. So that the thing is separate one. So so we don't have it now. That's why. So what we will do is, so we will give a switch. A switch is connected to the relay, and so if I switch on this switch, the relay will connect it to the AC. If we switch off, it will be disconnected from the AC. That is nothing but indirectly I am switching on, switching off the motor with the switch, which is in the microcontroller. Okay, so I will show you how it is going to be work. So I think you may see this one. So 8051 sample program to control relay through a switch. So switch on the relay or switch on or off with a normal switch. Relay is also one of the switch, but here we are having a AC controllable switch, this one. Okay, so like that. So you can able to see the switch is connected to the P2.0. The relay is connected to the P3.4. So the relay will act as the output, switch will act as the input. So from switch it will take the command, and according to that command the relay will switch on or switch off. Okay, so next. So first what we are going to be having is, so we are making the input and output. So switch can be make as the input and relay can be make as the output. To make any port or anything as the input or output, directly input is nothing but INPUT. I is nothing but there we need to give 1. Output is nothing but OUT PUT. Output O. So that's why we need to give as a 0. So this is my thumb rule. So the input, to make the input, just give 1. To make the output, just give 0. So then the port, total port, the switch will become as a input and the relay will become as a output. While 1, if the switch is 0, relay is equal to relay of, so relay if the previous relay is the off condition, now it became as a on. If the relay previously relay is the in the on condition, it will be off. Next, so switch while switch 2 is equal to 0. So switch is so in order to make the debounce effect, so here we need to give the delay. So what is meant by debouncing effect? So debouncing effect is nothing but if you press the switch, so it may give the 0 volt or 1 volt, but not in between the 0 or 5 volts. So that's going to be called as a debouncing. Or so whenever I am pressing the switch, the voltage will increase. So from 0 volt to 5 volts, but it needs some delay to settle down the output. So that's going to be called as a bouncing. So in order to debounce the switch, so we need to have some delay. So that's why we are providing the delay here. So in order to debounce that one. So this is the delay program. So if we execute this one, so then so we can able to have the relay. Then we try to flash this program. We try to flash this program by using the ASP. So load file. So we will go with the relay. Yes, loading the relay program, update, then it will pass is nothing but updated. You can able to see here. I will show you. So we have connected to the switch. So the switch is connected to P 2.0. Yes. So this is the P 2.0 and this is the relay. So this is the relay. This is the relay and this is the P 2.0. Okay, this is the P 2.0 and this is the relay. So here you can able to see one light will glow. Here you can able to see one light will glow if I press the switch. The meaning of that one is relay is on. If the press again I will press the switch, so then invert condition, the relay will be off. So for the first press it will be on and for the second press it will be off. So like that we have written the program. You can able to watch that one. See here, a light will glow. So indicating that this relay is switched on. So whatever the application I have told you, so there you need to make a similar situation such that this is the switch and this is the motor. Whenever I press the switch, the motor is switched on again. If I press again, I am pressing again. See here, the relay will switch off. The motor is switched off. So that's how. I will show you one more time. So this is the P 2.0 and here you don't have any relay is not working now. See here. So this is the relay. This is the relay. You don't have a light glow on. Light is off condition. If you press this one, the LED will on. The meaning of that one is the relay is switched on. If you press again, the relay will switch off. So this is how we can able to test a relay program, or we can able to test the relay whether the relay is working or not. Okay, so this is how a relay is interfaced with the 8051 development kit. Next, so we will go for one more interface. So this is called as the keypad. Yes. So whatever the key we are going to be pressing, that key is going to be displayed in the LCD. Okay. So this is the program. So this is the program. Okay. So to interface a keypad and display the key on LCD. Whatever the key we are going to be pressing, so that will be displayed on the LCD. Okay. So we will see. So we are having a 4x4 keypad, so which is connected to the port 2.0. So port 2.0 is going to be having a 4x4 switches. So in order to work this 4x4 switches, so the remaining switches must be disconnected. So this will be taken as a, by removing the jumpers. So we are not giving the connection to this, and we are using the 4x4 switches. Okay. So if you rebuild this one, and if you try to load the program, so which is going to be called as a keypad, update the chip. So after passing the successfully, yes, you can able to see here. The message, sorry, the things which we have given is the 4x4 keyboard. So this is the data we have given in the 4x4. So you can able to see that one. I think it's visible. This is the 4x4 switch, 4x4 switch. So this is the LCD. So you can able to see the LCD is black now. So we have not pressed any switch here. If I press a switch, so I'm pressing a switch, you can able to see the LCD will use the value as a 1. If I press another one, so it's going to be give the second. So if I press something, so it's going to be given as a hash. So if I give the this one 9, so this will give the this row, this column will give the A, B, C, D. The last column will give the A, B, C, D, and remaining 3x3. So if you miss that one, so we are having a 3x3. That 3x3 will give the numbers starting with the 1, 1, 2, 3, and this last 2 will give the, one is going to be given as a star, another one is going to be given as a 0, another one is going to be given as a hash. Okay, so I will try to press entire keyboard. You can able to see now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, star, hash, A, B, C, D. So this is the LCD, this is the program. So by which we can able to interface the keypad, and we can able to show whatever key we have pressed, it will be reflected into the LCD display. Now we will go for the one more thing, so which is going to be called as LCD display. So simple LCD display. So in the LCD, so the purpose of the LCD display is so we can able to use as a displays. So where we can able to show the our messages. Okay. So some one second, please. Yes. So so I will try to share you the LCD program. So this is the LCD program. So here we will try to show the messages, whatever the messages we require, that messages will be showed on the LCD. Okay, so I will try to rebuild this one. So we have created the LCD. So that program will be loaded. Yes, you can able to see this one like this. We can able to display the message. The message is displayed here. Whatever the message we have given, so that message is going to be displayed in the LCD. Okay. So I will try to explain you the program. So very briefly. Yes. So this is the LCD program. So here we are having a header files, and we are having a delay function. So here we are having in the LCD, we are having a different pins. So one is going to be called as the reset, and one is going to be called as the enable. So this reset and enables are going to be connected to the P0.6 and P0.7. Next, we are having a one more function. So these are going to be called as the LCD functions. So init LCD, CMD LCD, data LCD, print string. So all these are going to be called as a LCD functions. So these functions will do, so one thing, one function will do one action. So like, so if you see, first I need to uh, know the message which I need to print. So that will be given as taken as the array like this. Next, we will call the init LCD. So this init LCD, if you see here, so this is the init LCD program. So our init LCD function. So the purpose of the init LCD is to clear. So whatever the LCD previously it is going to be displayed, so it's going to be clearing that one. First CMD LCD. So 0x38. The meaning of this one is, so it's going to be having a 16 into 2 LCD. So it can be able to display 16 bits in a one row, and again 16 bits into the another row. 16 characters in the first row and 16 characters in the second row. So 16 into 2 rows. Next. So after this one, so CMD LCD 0x0e, this is the one command. So by using this one, it's the LCD will be display on. Next, it's going to be telling about the clear screen. So this is going to be telling about increment cursor. So whatever the cursor we are going to be having, it will go to the next thing, next thing, next thing like that. So these are going to be called as a init LCD is so initialization of the LCD. Next, you can able to see here. So init LCD first it will get called. Then so while one, so CMD LCD. So print the thing, print the string at first line. So CMD LCD is another program. So this one the CM LCD. So there, so LCD is having a one pin is going to be called as the enable. So enable will be become as a one. So next, so LCD is going to be taken as a command. So that command is going to be given here. So the command value is this one 0x80. So the meaning of the 0x0 is, so print the string, whatever the string I am going to give it with the starting first at the cursor point. Whatever the cursor point we are having, so we need to move that cursor point to the starting position of the row. So from there you need to print. So that's the meaning of that one. Next, after this, so print the string. Whatever the string we are going to be having, print the string. Next, print string is the one more function. So which is going to be print screen like this. So this is the print screen. So whatever the message we are going to be having continuously is going to be loaded into the continuously shown into the LCD like this. So everywhere we need to give the delay. So this is the delay we are going to be having. So next like this. So this is how the program will take the data, take the string, and it's going to be printing on the LCD. Whatever the message we can able to give, so it's going to be printed on that one. For example, previously I have given as a welcome E3 Ecolabite technologies like that. So we can able to give the whatever the message we require. So we can able to give that one, and it's going to be printing there. Okay. So by first we need to give the message, the whatever the message we require. So that message is going to be given as the string array. So then, so we need to again compile the program, and we need to create the hex file, and we need to load that hex file into the, or we need to flash the hex file into the 8051 development kit. So if you reset that one, if you reset, so then the whatever the message we have given, so that message will be displayed there. So for example, so I will try to show you. So if I change the message, whatever the message, so I am connecting here the jumpers. That's why I am taking time. So let me give some time. Then after this, yes. So if you change the message here, hi, change the message, compile that one. Next, so after compiling, load the program. So the program is going to be loaded by using the ISP utility. So check for the COM port, load the file. Open, update. Then after passing, it will show the message. So whatever the message we have given, that message will be shown here. Yes. See here, I have changed it as a hi to all. Okay. Okay. So this is how the LCD will be interfaced to the 8051 microcontroller development board. Okay. So next, what we are having is, so we have seen almost all interfaces. So whatever the interfaces we are having, we have seen all the things. So UART, we need to check for the serial communication. So later in this, later we will discuss about the communications, different communications. There we will try to, I will try to show you the UART, universal asynchronous receiver and transmitter. UART is nothing but that one. So by using the UART, how we can able to do the serial communication. So between the two microcontrollers. So we will discuss that one later. Next, what we are having is, we are having a ADC. So for the ADC, so what we required is, we required one more thing. So which is called as a ISP. So ISP is nothing but is circuit programmer. So then, so by using, so this is one of the communication protocol. So by using that communication protocol, so we will try to read the ADC values. So we will do these two things later sessions. Okay. So with this, so we are almost completing the 8051 microcontroller. So from the tomorrow class, so we will try to discuss about the Arduino. Okay, so Arduino programming, how we can able to do the Arduino programming, all those things. Okay, so anybody having any doubts?